Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Shri Shivanandaya Te Namah. Om Namah Shivaya. My subject is the yogic physiological foundations of yoga practice, yoga concepts of the subtle body. When in yoga we talk about physiology, there's not just physical body physiology, there's astral body physiology, causal body physiology. Well, causal body is difficult to have a physiology. And in yoga we have a holistic approach. Of course, when we study yoga, we also learn the physical anatomy and physiology. In a good yoga teacher's training course, you know about the heart and the ligaments and the muscles and everything. And you also learn what happens with the physical body when you practice yoga. On one hand side, yoga is also sports. Like originally it was planned that on Thursday we also have the yoga sports competition here. But we decided competition, we don't have it here in the ashram. I think there are other places where you can have sports competition. But yoga is also sports. It's also, there's so many scientific studies, yoga helps for your heart. If you practice yoga, you have better heart functioning and so on. If you practice yoga, you also have more flexible body. You can also get more body strength. You have better coordination. And of course, you have to see how you practice yoga that you don't hurt yourself. But I have to say, yoga is one of the least hurtful things you can do. Lying in bed is much more dangerous. Like sometimes people here also have some accidents or problems. Number one is they go on bikes. Now we don't have so many people going on bikes, but the accidents there is more. Second is people go walking. That's the second most dangerous activities you can do in the ashram. The third most dangerous activity is sleeping. Sometimes people get up with a stiff neck or something in the back. Nothing serious. And extremely rarely something happens in yoga class. And outside, of course, you could say we are very, very well trained here in Yoga Vidya, but even outside. But still we have to see how shall we teach to create good? How can we teach to prevent suffering? So knowledge of physiology and anatomy is important, and one should know what to teach when you have a pregnant woman, when you have somebody who is older, somebody who has problems with the bone, and so on. So we need certain knowledge. But in yoga we don't just have physical anatomy, we also have Ayurveda anatomy. I think Swamiji was talking about that. So Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and the different dhatus and all these things are important because again, if you want to adapt the yoga class to the needs of the person, you need to have a certain knowledge. If the person is more vata, the other asanas and pranayama might be good. If the person is more pitta or more kapha, or you can see the person and say there's not enough agni there. So he needs agni zara, he needs maybe the spinal twist and the forward bend and the peacock. These are the practices that Hatha Yoga Pradipika says will increase agni. So you practice these. Or you can see there might be so many malas in the body, amas in the body. So you need to cleanse it. So, of course, here in the ashram we have the advantage, we have a full Ayurvedic department. They can have special powders and they can have panchakarma and so on. But we can also do kriyas, which are now in panchakarma, and there's the shat karma, shat kriya. And then the body is cleansed, looks different, and things get easy. So certain knowledge of Ayurvedic physiology is also necessary to prescribe the proper asana, pranayama, and so on. And then, and this makes the study of yoga quite interesting also, we have the subtle physiology. We have the astral body. And astral body physiology is the most important of all. Why? Once there was somebody, in the Indian mythology, somebody was questioned. On one hand side, we come without anything, and we leave without anything, and we make a lot of hustle around in between. On a second level, we come with something, we change and do something with it, and we'll go with something else. And on the third level, we come with something, nothing changes, and we leave with the same. So what is that? Of course, coming means being born, and going means leaving the physical body. We don't really die, we leave the physical body. And on one hand side, we come without anything and we go without anything. That's the physical body and the physical riches and so on. We say we're born naked. Well, we come with a body, but before being born, we have no body. Then we have a body. We're born with it. And then we do a lot of things. We dress the body. We put nice things on the body. We feed the body. We give the body something to live in. And we try to, whatever is possible, to, and in our modern world, so much to do with the physical, but on the physical plane, so much effort going in there. From morning till night, people are busy caring for the physical body and getting more for the physical body and trying to get more money and bigger bathrooms and bigger cars and bigger iPhones and bigger this and that. What for? What happens in the end? We leave everything. The body will be burned, or at least sometimes I think it's better not to burn the body, even there are good reasons to burn the body, because then some insects will get something, some worms will get something, so at least somebody still has something of the body after you die. But only for a few days, then everything is over. So that's the first thing. Now the second part is we come with something, we change something, and we go with something else. And that is basically the astral body. This is our character. These are our samskaras, meaning our tendencies. This is our spiritual achievement we have. That is like actually, when we now go a little closer, but of course I will not get too much into details. We have pranas, we have nadis, we have chakras, all that. And we have on the astral body everything else which makes our personality. We come with that. Mothers who have more than one child know children are not the same. Even though same mother, same father, even born in the same house, even when they come out of the womb, they're not the same. Some cry, some don't, some, you could even say, different temperaments immediately there. And not only astral body, also come with a causal body, so everybody has their own karma also with them. So we come with that. And then we do something with it. Hopefully, we do something good with it. But of course, first we're set into karmic situations, and then certain tendencies will be increased or decreased. And the first, you could say, 12, 14 years, The child is not consciously choosing how to live the life. There's karma which will help to strengthen certain of the tendencies. And then, afterwards, it's in our hands what we do with our astral body. Of course, we can say we increase our prana, we open the chakras, we open the nadis and so on, meaning we also activate our physical abilities, our mental abilities, we activate our character. But more importantly, maybe we're born as a choleric kind of person. And then we can learn not to be so choleric anymore. Maybe we were a very fearful person. And some children, they're born, and already with a few years they have more fear. And then they get certain karmic things which increase their tendencies to fear. Now we have it, to a certain degree, we have it in our hands to change it. And then, when we finally leave our body, we hopefully have changed something to the positive. Maybe we have learned to be less choleric and be more forgiving. Maybe we've learned to be less afraid, but to be more confident. Hopefully, we've experienced God. Maybe we've learned to open ourselves to be aware of a higher reality. And this we take into our next birth. Krishna says in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, wherever you leave in your last birth, you'll start in your next birth. And if you have nearly achieved the goal in this birth, in the next birth you're nearly thrown into a God realization. We have these examples like Anandamayi Ma, who had God realization when she was quite young. We have this Rama Maharshi and others, just from very childhood onwards. Of course, we hope as yoga practitioners not to be born again. Some say, why should I not be born again? It's so nice here. One promise that the scriptures say, if you want to be born again, you will be born again. So you need not to be afraid of practicing yoga for fear of not being born again. But you will be born with more energy, with more prana, with more personality, and hopefully a more ethical person. But of course, if you have experienced higher states of consciousness, you have experienced expansion of consciousness, pure joy, then coming back to this body, not so nice. And those whose body have either has a special karma from childhood onwards, or has a certain age, And often those who try to do real good to other people also know there's resistance. So best is not to be born again. And then we need to cleanse our astral body at least sufficiently. It said if we die with name of God on our lips, with full concentration, God will lead us to moksha. But to have that full concentration, we need to have elaborated enough of the karma. So that's why physiology of the astral body is good. But I mentioned the 1/3 plane, which is we come with something, nothing changes, and we leave with the same. What is that? The soul, Atman. Our true nature is Satchidananda, pure being, pure consciousness, pure bliss. We came with that, nothing changes, and we leave with that. And that's the most important part. And even before full realization, it's already good that we have some experience on that plane. Why? Because that gives us confidence. This morning, Dr. Vikrant was talking about different anxieties we have. And one of the anxieties, I'm not good enough. And in yoga, we have sufficient reason to say we are not good enough. We should meditate more and we should be more concentrated. We should do pranayama more concentrated. We should do more asanas, more concentrated. We should do more Bhakti yoga, we should take more time for scriptures, we should study Sanskrit and really learn it, we should be nice to everybody. We have so many duties, so much to do, and we find we don't really succeed fully. It's good to have this idea, I want to improve. And this mumukshutva, the yearning for liberation, is so important. But at the same time, we know that which is really, really, really important is always there. We don't have to create it, we are there. In that way, let's learn physiology of the body to do good to the body, and to help our students to do good to their body. Let's also learn physiology of the astral body, including prana, nadis, chakras, including samskaras, including personality, and let's create better, let's improve our astral body. And if we teach, let us teach in a way that the astral body of our students will have improvement. That's what stays for the next birth. And in the end, we can be quite at ease where Satchidananda now. Hariom Tat Sat.
Hariom Tat Sat. Thank you very much, Sukadev ji. If you want to listen to